G'day guys, welcome to Cold Blooded Cousins. My name's Kyle.
I'm Steve Tucky, and this is my first crocodile.
I recently got a job up here at the croc park. Now Stephen's just helped catch me this saltwater crocodile. I'd say it's about 2 years old, nice and healthy, and it's alright, we can do the filming here because it's just out the back of our dam. So we basically own this crocodile, and this crocodile is real nice and healthy. And yeah, on this film we're going to be looking at a lot of snakes and a lot of reptiles, all sorts of animals. So it's going to be really good.
Kyle has moved to Darwin and is keen to show Steve a saltwater crocodile.
So this is the saltwater crocodile. Now they can get up to about, 6 meters, which is huge, and over 500 kilo. Some of them around here at the parks are, over 500 kilo. There's even been records of some to 800 kilo, which is massive. So this is basically a wild crocodile. It was found in our dam. It is one of the fattest crocodiles I've seen, which means it's a good sign of health. Check out the thickness of that tail. That shows how healthy crocodiles are. And these little bumps here, they're called osteoderms. And that's basically like a thick body armor plate. It's bone, it's a bony plate. And one of the strongest parts of the crocodile is right on top of their head where my thumb is.
So I spotted him just sitting about 2 meters away from the edge of the water up on the bank here. So I mesmerized him with my head torch. When you shine a light on them, they kind of freeze a lot of the time. And I slowly walked up to him, and then the last few meters I just ran and jumped on him.
Now any water source in Darwin, you can get saltwater crocodiles, even in the freshwater. But I've studied this dam for a long time, and even me and Stephen are staying our distance away just a little bit, just in case. You never know where salties turn up. Great healthy specimen, very healthy. He must be feeding on all the frogs and the fish that are in the dam. He would even eat snakes and birds. Stalk the birds, check out that tail, nice and thick. I'm giving him a big crocodile hug. Look how long his tail is.
Now, these guys are ancient predators, perfectly adapted. They were around during the age of the dinosaurs, and they haven't really changed very much. They're a bit smaller than they were when they were dinosaurs, but this is the largest species in the world, the Australian saltwater crocodile, Crocodilus porosus.
So on this film we're going to check out a bit of the park, and we'll definitely be doing a lot of herping. I'm just going to release this salty back into the dam. See you later, mate. Grow up to have a good life and hunt some fish. I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Well, I didn't expect that. Why don't you go in the water? Maybe splash the water, there we go.
Hey.
And you never know he's there.
So around Madonga, up here in Darwin, we got plenty of species of frogs around. This is a Roth's tree frog, or the laughing tree frog. They call it that because when it croaks it sounds like someone's laughing at you. So there's plenty of insects around my lights in the donga, so yeah, you get lots of frogs coming around and geckos having a hunt.
That's not the only type of frog around here. We've also found a desert tree frog.
In some of the driest areas where there's hardly any water, you can find these guys real quick. But actually, yeah, they're found all the way up here into the territory. Real little frogs. and they can be found pretty far from water. Another type of tree frog.
Green tree frog hanging out in this bathroom.
Bit of rain and the green tree frogs are everywhere. This guy seems to be really after the water. And this is the invasive species, the cane toad. Those poison sacs right there are the cause of all the problems. It's very difficult to kill this species.
Kyle and Steve also find a few species of lizards.
Big huntsman.
Just having a look out the back in the territory, and there's this old tinny lying about, and there's a snake in it, water python. So this is my first water python. They're pretty common up the top end. Close relative of the olive python. They're a bit smaller, got a yellow underbelly. And yeah, as their name suggests, they just love water and live in it, or live next to it.
These harmless pythons can grow up to 3 meters and are found all throughout northern Australia, Indonesia and Papua New Guinea.
So Aboriginals called this guy and his close relative, the olive python, called it the rainbow serpent. And you can tell from that beautiful sheen that comes off their body, that beautiful iridescent sheen.
This rainbow sheen comes from the scales, which are actually transparent keratin. The colour of a snake's skin actually comes from the pigment beneath the scales. When light shines on these transparent scales, the light diffracts into a rainbow, just like glass or the surface of a lake. These scales are so transparent that they actually cover the snake's eyes.
Found this young children's python here. We're just looking around Darwin, seeing what herps we can find. It's a member of the Antarrhiza genus, and like all pythons, it's got heat sensing pits, or most pythons.
This is a nocturnal species which can be found in trees as well as hidden under the leaves on the ground. They are known to sometimes dwell at cave entrances where they can hunt bats as they fly past. Other than that, they also eat small lizards, rodents, and birds. Let's see what else we can find tonight.
Another water python. So common out here. This one's got water drops on him.
Although they're called water pythons, they'll quite happily live on dry land, but when the rain comes, they come out in mass.
So we just got a slaty grey, a grumpy slaty grey, on the road. So we'll move him out the way. They're colubrid, and they're stinky.
Just like every other colubrid, this snake's fangs are at the back of its mouth. Although this species isn't venomous, it sure seems to like biting.
I've spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia, and this is tropical Australia. So there are similarities, and it's a lot like one of the wolf snakes I'd find over in Southeast Asia. It's got big nocturnal eyes. Black eyes, real whippy and grumpy.
These snakes tend to come out at night to hunt any vertebrates they can fit in their mouths, even other snakes. Their dark pupils help them see at night so they can hunt their prey.
Alright, well, we'll move him off the road, I guess. See you later. How's this?
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. My first frill-neck lizard. I just rescued him off a road. I'm pretty sure he's all right. He's not too happy about being rescued. All right, so just gonna give him a bit of a health check because he's behaving a bit unusually. I mean, he looks pretty defensive and pretty happy right now. But, well, pretty healthy. He's not too happy. But, yeah, so he was about to get squashed and he wasn't getting off the road. So I just want to check that he can still move all right and yeah, that he's going to be okay. That's my first frill neck lizard up here in the top end. You'll notice his frill is actually shedding. See, he's got all this loose skin coming off. It's important to remember that in the Northern Territory, the wildlife rules say that you're not to handle wild animals. But in a situation where a beautiful animal like this is stuck on a highway, a busy highway, and can't get across, it's always all right to help him across. So we're just going to put him down now and we'll see that he's healthy, and then he'll probably just run off and go on his way up a tree. So I'm just going to put him up on this termite mound, check that he's all right, got a bit of movement. Hopefully he'll run away. So we'll just see how his health is, just in case he got clipped by a car. He seems all right, and I can't see any signs of physical trauma. Well, he seems all right. He's pretty hyper defensive, but I'm just going to move him up into the trees over here. There's a bit out in the open, there's a few dogs around. So we'll just move him up. Settle down, settle down. There we go. Cool. Alright, so I'm just going to let him go on this tree here. And should just run up it.
Hey. Oh, green.
Yeah, keep going. And up he goes. They're always on the opposite side of the tree, so you can't see him very well. He's fine.
Off he goes into the branches above.
Let's go look for some snakes. Another little road rescue. This is another dragon, a military dragon.
Like other small Australian dragons, this tiny lizard is hiding powerful muscles within its lightweight legs. These guys can go fast, alright.
Can you spot this frog? Right there. Camouflages very well with the leaf litter around here. Good to see a native frog out here. And just helped it across the road. The invasive cane toads have really competed and decimated a lot of the local frog population, so it's a real good one to see. Frogs are a good sign that there's plenty of food out here for snakes, so hopefully we can find some tonight.
It doesn't take them long to find their first snake of the night.
So, first snake of the night, and I'm bloody excited. This is a king brown snake. It's a young one. Well, it's certainly not the full size. Up here, the king browns can grow quite huge. That's how they get their name. Back home we call them mulgars, but the mulgars are generally the shorter snakes. The king browns generally live far up in the northern parts of Australia, and they can grow to, you know, 3 meters or so. Now this guy is venomous, dangerous, perhaps not quite lethal, but very dangerous nonetheless. Certainly a hospitalisation, as their venom is hemotoxic, and it causes necrosis, so rotting of the muscles. Quite horrible stuff.
For the biology geeks out there, this venom contains enzymes which break the peptide bonds in cellular proteins. Even a tiny amount of venom is enough to kill thousands of cells worth of proteins. Most Australian elapids have much more potent venom, but the king brown compensates by injecting 10 times more venom than a tiger snake would.
The venomous snakes up here, there are many species, but they're not that common. You more come across colubrids and pythons and harmless snakes. And we're pretty lucky to have found a king brown. I told you tonight was going to be a good night, Kyle. They can reach about 3 metres, putting them as one of Australia's longest elapids. And they can gain a fair bit of girth too. That's why they have the name king. Now, it might be called a king brown, but it's actually a black snake, member of the black snake family, which is Pseudechus. The true brown snakes are Pseudonarja, which include the western brown and the dugite, and the eastern brown. And they have a lot more toxic venom. This is probably the snake I wanted to find most up in the top end. I love my elapid snakes. I absolutely love them. They're my favourite type of snakes. The Australian front-fanged, very venomous snakes.
Time to find some more.
Alright, so here we got something we're pretty used to. This is a Burton's legless lizard. Pretty cool colour. These guys are lizard specialists. They'll actually chase them down during the day and probably hunt sleeping ones at night. Alright, I'll just move this female off the road. How's that underbelly? Back where we found her. This road is a little bit busy at night, so we've got to make sure we move everything off the road. And he was moving this way, so we always put reptiles just off the road in the direction they're heading. See you later.
Got another cold-blooded cousins cooking segment here. Carl's donger at the zoo. So, in amongst all the mank in the fridge, we are cooking an ostrich egg. Not something you get every day. Chopping tomatoes like a good Italian. And now it's time to crack this egg. I have no idea how. Any tips, Kyle?
No.
This is gonna end badly. I'm gonna end with no dinner. There we go.
Just requires more force.
So, how big's the yolk? Do we want the yolk whole? Doesn't matter.
Check it all in.
Alright, so maybe I'll just make a hole and it'll all come out. Chuck us the knife for a sec. Yeah. So that's not working. Alright, and so that's all egg white, and this is the yolk. Uh-oh.
2 bowls full. That's just half an egg can feed 2 people, which is great.
Got any garlic?
No.
And here's the result. No ostrich fetus, which is always good. So it's time to feed the retic.
Ready?
Yep. Perfect.
There you go.
Let's have another look at this strike.
If I wiggle the food, he thinks it's real, and he'll constrict it even more.
You see he's got his teeth right into it, his head right on it there.
Steve and Carl take the boa constrictor out for some sunlight.
We've got a dead Araphurophile snake here, and it was found in one of the ponds, one of the croc ponds here, as draining it. Not quite sure how it died.
We have northern blue tones. Biggest northern blue tones you'll ever see.
Getting some sunlight for them.
Got an albino corn.
And we've got another corn snake in here. This is Lucifer, the carpet python. Good one for bringing out for people to handle. Aren't you, Lucifer? By name, not by nature.
This croc might have missed his first strike, but it's certainly not going to give up now. The force of a crocodile's bite is over 16,000 newtons. That's more than a lion or even a hippo.
just waiting for night to fall to look for some nocturnal species of reptiles. So the weather's quite right. Now we've just got to wait for them to come out, and we'll be waiting.
Alright, we're just night driving out in the territory, and look what we've got. A little olive python. Just on the road here.
Olive, yes.
This is the first olive python we've seen up here since Kyle's moved up. So we're really excited. Now these guys are Australia's second largest snake. They're obviously a python, so non-venomous. And yeah, they can grow up to 4 meters at least. This is a lot greyer. We've seen them up in the Pilbara. This is a lot greyer than we've seen them.
Alright, so we're just going to move this olive off the road. I'll put him in a tree because he seems to want to be climbing.
Okay, good.
Oh, he's going on to a green ant nest.
It's their mating season, so there are frogs everywhere. Here's another slaty grey. They might seem vicious, but they're not actually venomous at all.
They mimic the venomous snakes a fair bit. We were sure this was, you know, either a brown snake or a taipan when we saw it in the car. We just didn't know that slaty greys could get this big. He feels pretty exposed on the road. So probably best we move him off. He doesn't move himself off. Whoop, excuse me, mister. It's going fast. Yeah, it's the biggest one we've seen.
That's not the only species out tonight.
Got another keelback in here. We just saw 2. There he goes. The keelbacks are everywhere tonight. Well, this one's eating a frog. Yeah. Little frog. A dwarf tree frog, I think. Or maybe another species. Now these guys are able to eat cane toads as well, not just frogs. That's why they're really common with the introduced cane toad around. They've got a lot to feed on, because not much will feed on the cane toad. In amongst all these keelbacks we found a children's python. These guys are part of the Antarrhiza genus, like the Stimson's python. And the pygmy python. Antarrhiza childrenii.
We're up here in Darwin, and we're just walking around some water, and I've spotted a huge olive python. It's pretty big. One of the biggest wild pythons I've found. Just look how long he is. His tail goes all the way to the end of that bush, so I'd say he's 3.5, almost 4 metres, which is a big snake. Olive pythons are around the 3rd largest python in Australia, and this guy is a good example of it. He's big.
Big enough head on him. Last night in Darwin. Too big to get him all on the camera. What a whopper. Awesome snake. Did not expect to find that. Just crossing the road here, we've got a keelback snake. Common around water, real common up here in the territory. And they're one of the few snakes, one of the few animals in fact, that can eat cane toads. You've called at the right time, just hang on. I'm better than that, I got a snake in my hand right now, and it's your favourite one. And I'll be pretty busy then. Yeah, as long as we don't have a delay, that's all, because we're going herping tomorrow night.
I'm just going to let him go now.
Cool. Ah, the Northern Territory. Drink that, drink. Glump went the little green frog one day. Glump went the little green frog.
Snail has facial hair.
So we got a little children's python Kyle's gonna go have a look at down there. Definitely a children's?
Yes. It's a stick.
What?
It's a stick.
You're kidding.
Hang on, it's because I'm tired.
Yeah. G'day everybody! Tell us about the banteng, Kyle.
They're a cow from Indonesia, and that's about it.
Top stuff. Top stuff. Top stuff.